There is a kind of competition in diplomatic seduction. I think it was the two explanations. First, the family was very careful and very afraid, and we can understand their reaction. Of course, they had every reason to be afraid and to worry about their situation of their son, brother, and so on and so on. And second, we all know that in such a situation, this is the best interest of everybody. I mean, the family, Sweden in this case, the European Union in this case also, to keep the negotiation secret. Because if everything is on the table, open, clear, and live, it's not possible to conduct any negotiation. Well, I don't know if it was a decision. Maybe it was a leak. Maybe it was an organized leak. I don't know. But in any case, after something like 15 months, it's always very difficult to keep such an affair secret. And so there was a leak, and that's the situation, and that's it. Well, it's very difficult to answer your question because many situations are secrets for the reasons we just said. But generally, the human rights organization and the concerned governments agree to give a figure of between 12 and 15 foreign citizens held hostages by the Iranian authorities. No, it's very difficult for me to tell you because a member of the European Parliament doesn't know everything about this negotiation and this situation, and I'm not shocked by that. I understand the reasons of that, and it seems to me rather reasonable. You know, there is a deep feeling of indignation and solidarity with the Iranian women. Many members of the parliament, by the way, wish to give the next Sakharov Prize to the Iranian woman. And we will decide, I mean, the parliament will decide that in the coming weeks, or maybe in the coming months. I don't remember precisely. Oh, well, okay, very shortly. And but I would say personally, I support the idea of giving the prize to the Iranian woman, and I would say that they have a good possibility to win the prize this year. You know, in the relationship with Iran, the economical question is not that big. But of course, we have to keep a kind of very difficult and painful balance between geopolitical necessities and the defense of human rights, and precisely in this case of women's rights. I would say that there is a shift in the Iranian foreign policy. First, because they became, and they are becoming, closer and closer with China and Putin's Russia. And second, because there is a trend of appeasement in their relationship with Saudi Arabia and of course the entire Middle East. Basically the monarchies this area. And so the situation is moving very quickly, to a new configuration. Well, let's guess. First, there is the question of hostages, but that's certainly not the only aspect of the question. Generally speaking, Washington and the European Union don't wish Iran to become much closer to Putin's Russia. And so there is a kind of competition in diplomatic seduction with Tehran. And this is this unpleasant and difficult balance that we have to keep between geopolitical necessities and morality. Difficult to answer your question, but let's imagine that the appeasement between Riyadh and Tehran would become a real one, strong and lasting. I don't think it would be bad for the relationship between Tehran and the United States and also the European Union. There is an evolution. We have to keep in mind that the Iranian regime is actually very weak. Let's remember that the woman revolt against the regime is lasting 1 year after the beginning. 1 year after the beginning. And of course, the situation in Iran, there was many revolts from time to time, every 5-6 years. None of them lasted that long. None of them lasted that long. And there is a real break between the young generations and the regime. Not only the women, specifically the women, of course, but the young generation, generally speaking. And it was obvious already during Khatami's election, but now it's not obvious. It's the real reality of the country. And so even the hardliner of the Islamic regime have to take it into account. Right now there is no real easing, not at all, not at all. We hope so. We hope it could become easier between Tehran and Brussels and the European Union, but it's not mad. It's not mad. But of course, when the tension is lowering, everybody benefit of that. Everybody benefit of that. In this case, the people in Iran would benefit of that, and much more actually than the European people. And so let's hope. But it's not mad. It's not mad. Let's remember that our diplomat is still kept hostage in Tehran by this regime, and is not alone, as we said already. No. I told you that the European Union and the United States don't wish Moscow to become too close with Iran. I mean, much closer than today. And so we try, and rightly so on ice, we try to organize a kind of competition between Russia and to convince the Islamist regime in Tehran that it wouldn't be in the best interest not only of Iran but also of the regime to become even closer to Moscow. But well, we'll see. It's not mad again, not at all. No, this is a symbolic, a very important, but purely symbolic announcement. And but this it does reflect the deterioration of the image of this regime among the European members of the parliament. And the image of the regime, of the Iranian regime, is very, very, very poor now at the parliament. Because, and not only because of the hostages, certainly because of the hostages, but I would say mainly because of the repression against the woman. I always wish to open discussion, and it's certainly a good thing to try. But unfortunately, this is not the situation now.